Hi, and welcome to TXDZNY. On today's show, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favorite character dining experiences at Walt Disney World. Now, I'll start by saying that we absolutely love character dining meals. And I know that they're pricey, but we do feel like they're 100% worth it, especially with kids. But we did a lot of these character dining experiences also before kids. But I feel like they're even more worth it when you're with kids. You are going to have to eat inside the parks or outside the parks for 3 meals a day anyway. So I know that it can be pricey, but I feel like it is worth the upcharge for a lot of these character meals to save you some time sometimes inside the parks and waiting in lines to meet characters. And it's a great little core memory for your kids to sit down and eat some, Mickey waffles and meet all their characters or princesses that they really, really love. So we're big advocates of doing character meals, especially with kids. So a couple things I do want to touch on before I start my list is that I will pop up a little guide to show you which characters are at certain character dining locations. This is good to know when you're picking where you maybe want to do your character meal because not all of them have the same characters. So this is something you do need to know in advance when you're making your dining reservations to know which characters will be at certain dining locations. Everything on this list that I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you which characters are at these meals, but I'm not doing every single character dining experience on my list. I'm going to do a top 5, and then I'll talk about 4 or 5 more places that I really like that are barely missing the list. At 5, I'm going to have Akershus Banquet Hall. Akershus is a character dining experience in the Norway Pavilion at Epcot. The unique thing about Akershus is this is a princess dining experience. So this is great for your little girls, even boys if they like their princesses. But this is one of the few places that you can meet 5 princesses. Actually, you meet here. You get to meet Ariel, Aurora, Belle, Snow White, and Tiana. So you get to meet these 5 princesses, and it's a great little meal. At Akershus, the breakfast here is, in my opinion, a lot better than the lunch and dinner options. They do have reservations for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not every character dining experience is open for all 3 meals, but Akershus is. But it goes from a buffet style for breakfast, which is your general kind of buffet foods like Mickey waffles, eggs, bacon, sausage, potatoes, all those things. But it does go to more of like a skillet type meal for lunch and dinner. And the options, we actually like them as adults, but our kids they don't really like the options there for lunch and dinner. We've been during dinner, and the kids didn't love it, so they found it a little bit hard to order some things on the menu there. So I do recommend doing breakfast at Akershus if you can have a choice in the matter. The pricing at Akershus is $55 for adults and $35 for kids for breakfast. And it's $67 for adults and $43 for kids for lunch and dinner. So it is also cheaper to eat this breakfast at Akershus. I'm guessing just because it's a buffet style. But I feel like your kids will eat more. You feel like you get a more bang for your buck at Akershus if you do breakfast. But I'd rather see you do a lunch or dinner there than not do a character princess meal at all. Now, I will touch on Cinderella's Royal Table and 1900 Park Fair. That are a couple other places that do have some princesses there. But I'm talking about Akershus on this one. And the reason why I have Akershus at 5 is because it's a lot more accessible. Getting dining option reservations here is a lot easier than getting them at Cinderella's Royal Table and 1900 Park Fair, and you still get to dine with those 5 princesses. So I have it 5 on the list because Epcot's our favorite park, and it's a easier reservation to get than some of the other princess dining experiences. So I feel like it's more accessible and easier for people to get to dine with these princesses. The only other reason I could think why some people might not like Akershus or some people just don't like getting dining reservations at Epcot as a whole, and that is because there's so many good foods around the booths if there's a festival going on. So that is something I do think people think they consider when they're booking dining reservations at Epcot, and that's also a big reason why I recommend doing an early breakfast there because when it comes time to go eat and drink around the countries around midday, you'll be hungry again. So it didn't ruin your day of still enjoying the festival booths and everything throughout the year. At 4 on my list, I'm going to have Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is a character meal inside the Magic Kingdom. If you're walking down Main Street towards Cinderella Castle and you get to the end of Main Street, and you start going to the left towards Adventureland, you'll see Crystal Palace. The best way I explain is it has a very like Grand Floridian type exterior to it, and so you'll see it when you're kind of making that left after Casey's Corner and heading towards Adventureland. That's where it's located. Now this list is just a personal top 5, and that's a big reason why I have Crystal Palace on this list, is because the characters here on why it's in my top 5. The characters that you will get at Crystal Palace are going to be the Winnie the Pooh and Friends. So the 100 Acre Woods crew. So that's going to include Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Piglet, and Eeyore. So if you're someone who loves Winnie the Pooh and the crew of the 100 Acre Woods, this is a great dining reservation for you to get. Us as a family, we love the Winnie the Pooh franchise and everything like that. And in my opinion, Pooh Bear is one of the best characters, Disney characters, to just go walk up to, run up to, and give a big hug to. My kids absolutely just want to cuddle him every time they see Pooh Bear at Crystal Palace. So it's just a really cool experience, I think, to sit and eat with some unique characters rather than just doing some the classic characters. And you get to eat with Winnie the Pooh and his crew. Like Akershus, Crystal Palace is open as a character meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So all 3 of those time slots, you're going to be able to get some character dining with Winnie the Pooh and Friends. For breakfast, it's going to be $48 for adults and $30 for kids. And for lunch and dinner, it's going to be $61 for adults and $40 for kids. So once again, a breakfast dining experience here is a better bang for your buck. We also always we in general just like doing character meals as breakfast more so, and kind of starting our Disney days that way. So I recommend doing Crystal Palace for breakfast if you can eat the 3 meals there. Unlike Akershus, though, I do like the food here for lunch and dinner. It is a little bit more filling than some of the other places because it is more of a Southern style food where it's going to be having, like your meat and your potatoes, your chicken fried chicken, and all these other things that are going to be a little bit more filling. So think about that when you're doing it. Crystal Palace is buffet for all of their services, unlike Akershus that does skillets for the lunch and dinners, where it's going to be buffet style for all 3 of the meals here at Crystal Palace. This also, given that it's open for all 3 meals as a character meal, can be an easier reservation to get. So keep that in mind. Big pro, I think, to Crystal Palace also is that I don't love a lot of the dining options inside of Magic Kingdom. I love the dining options outside of Magic Kingdom at the area hotels like Grand Floridian, Polynesian, Contemporary, and even Wilderness Lodge. But I don't really love the dining options inside for like a table service. So I think Crystal Palace is one of the better ones where you get to keep that Disney spirit into your meal with having Winnie the Pooh and characters. There's also a big pro of when you're doing these table services inside Magic Kingdom where you do get to drink alcohol, which is, I think, a good added pro, especially for breakfast to have some mimosas or something to kick off your day or something like that. But we love sitting down and having a good little character meal inside Magic Kingdom. At 3 on my list, I'm going to have Ohana. Ohana is a restaurant inside the Polynesian Resort at the Magic Kingdom area resorts. It's in the main building, which is called the Great Ceremonial House there at the Polynesian. Unlike Akershus and the Crystal Palace, Ohana is only a character meal just for breakfast. So at breakfast, you will get to meet Lilo, Stitch, Mickey, and Pluto. So you do have those unique dining or character experiences with Lilo and Stitch that you don't get to have in a lot of the parks that you'll see. Obviously, it's Lilo and Stitch because it's at the Polynesian Resort and it goes along with the whole theme there. So it is a unique experience at Ohana to have breakfast there. Pricing for Ohana's breakfast are $49 for adults and $30 for kids. Another thing at Ohana is that it isn't going to be buffet style. It's going to be where they're going to bring these big skillets out to you, and it's going to be served family style. And it's bottomless, so if you want more eggs or more bacon or more Mickey waffles or anything like that, they'll bring you as much as you want. But it isn't a buffet line that you're going to go up to. We have been here with people who have had some food allergies, and they were very accommodating to that. So that's something to keep in mind. I feel like all places are in general kind of like that now at Disney World, but we have firsthand experience that they are very accommodating here at Ohana with that. But the food here is, I feel like, a little bit better than it is at the previous 2 restaurants I said. Maybe it's because it's served a little bit more fresh and in the skillet. more than buffet style. So that's why I have Ohana ahead of Akershus and Crystal Palace. The Polynesian is our second favorite resort. Beach Club is our favorite just because we're big Epcot lovers. But the Polynesian is our second. So we absolutely just love the vibe of the Polynesian. And so at Ohana, you get a lot of this vibe. I do highly recommend, if you're going to eat at Ohana, to try and request one of the windows tables if you can, because you just have a beautiful raised view of all of Seven Seas Lagoon, looking at all the Magic Kingdom area resorts, obviously the lake, like I said, and you even get some glimpses inside of Magic Kingdom and stuff like that. So the whole vibe there is really, really nice, with the whole island feel to it and having a beautiful view outside the windows there. So we absolutely love this dining experience because of the food, the characters, and just the vibe of the whole entire resort there at the Polynesian. Obviously, being a Polynesian style restaurant, some of these breakfast dishes will have a little bit of a Polynesian flair to it. Same as a lot of the drink options here. Now that since you're going into a resort for your character meal, it is going to have some more specialty drinks to like a Polynesian type environment. They also have Tambu Lounge that is connected to Ohana, which is a bar and does have some quick bites if you want. But Ohana is where you get to meet the characters. And I highly recommend maybe stopping at Tambu Lounge before you maybe going into Magic Kingdom or something like that and get some of their specialty cocktails. Another thing I like to remind people when they're dining at resorts, if you do have a car or rental car or whatever it might be, if you're local, if you drove to Disney World, like I said, if you have a rental car or whatever, you do get to park at that resort if you have a dining reservation. So keep that in mind. At a park like Magic Kingdom, you can save time leaving the park if you're parked at the Polynesian. You're just taking the monorail to Magic Kingdom, and it's going to save you a lot of time when you're going back. Instead of having to wait in those lines for everybody going to the Ticket and Transportation Center for the monorail and boats, you get to hop on the resort monorail that will take you to the Polynesian. That will save you time leaving the park. So that's a big thing that we like doing, is getting that early morning Ohana character dining reservation, and then popping into Magic Kingdom. And it does make the escape route outside of Magic Kingdom a little bit faster, which we all know when you have kids and you're trying to get home after a long day. 30 minutes to an hour can make a big difference on the mood of your kids sometimes. So I do recommend, if you do have a vehicle, to utilize parking at these resorts that you do have a dining reservation. In this case, with Ohana, it's the Polynesian. And lastly, I will say Ohana is a popular dining reservation for people. So this is one that's not as accessible like Akershus and Crystal Palace are. That's also because it's only open for breakfast as a character dining experience. So it is something that you are going to have to try to do, like right at 60 days out or very close to it, or check quite frequently if it does pop up, if it's something that you want. The Polynesian is a very popular resort and people want to eat that Ohana breakfast. So if you're looking to dine here for breakfast, you're really going to have to try to get it at that 60 days out or very close to it. At 2 on my list, I'm going to have Cape May Cafe. Cape May is located at the Beach Club Resort, right behind Epcot, in those Epcot area resorts, right behind the UK and France Pavilion, when you can enter and exit through through Epcot. The Beach Club is our favorite resort. And in general, when we're staying on property, more times than not, we stay at one of these Epcot area resorts, whether it be the Beach Club, Yacht Club, Boardwalk, Swan, or Dolphin. And we love this resort area. This is our favorite resort area out of all of them. So Cape May, we heighten as a character meal for us because it's very accessible for us over there. It's a great way where if I have like a 8 a.m. Character breakfast, I don't have to wake up crazy early to get there. A lot of times we're staying at the Beach Club, so we don't have to wake up that much more than our dining reservation because it's right there. And then even if you're staying at the Boardwalk, Swan, Dolphin, you could be there in 5 minutes or something like that. So that's why Cape May, for us personally, is a little bit heightened on this list. Cape May, like Ohana, is only a character dining experience only for breakfast. So keep that in mind. But unlike Ohana, even though it only serves breakfast as a character meal, it is still a rather easier reservation to get, like Akershus and Crystal Palace. So that's another reason why it's high on our list, is that it's a accessible reservation to get, where you're not having to like be right at trying to book things at 5:45 a.m. 60 days out. You can in general get this one even if you kind of miss your window, and even check in last minute if you're trying to get a last minute character dining experience. Cape May, like Crystal Palace and Akershus, is going to be buffet style for breakfast. So it's going to be the food isn't going to wow you here. The reason, like I said, why it's high on our list is its location, and it's just one of our favorite days is to start an Epcot day by going and doing an early morning character meal with the kids there at Cape May. Maybe having a couple glasses of mimosas, because in general our Epcot days will include drinking and walking around the country. So it's a great way to kick off your morning, and then going into Epcot and having a full Epcot day. So it just is high on this list because it's that is a great start to one of our favorite days that we always have on our Disney trips. The pricing here is $47 for adults and $30 for kids. And the characters you'll meet here are going to be Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy, and they'll be in their in like a beach type attire here, because obviously it's at the beach club, so you're going to get that kind of vibe there. But like I said, this is going to be a buffet style breakfast, and we just like the accessibility of it, like I said. And just like Ohana, Cape May being at the beach club and being really, really close to Epcot, if you can get a breakfast reservation, like I said, with cars, whether it be a rental car or your own vehicle, it is great to be able to park there. Like I said, it's only from Cape May, you're talking it's less than a 10-minute walk, probably between a 5-10 minute walk from Cape May into Epcot, which is really accessible, obviously, to get into Epcot after your breakfast, as well as when you're leaving the park. If you're going to stay at Epcot all day, you do have easy access just right out through the back of the International Gateway in between UK and France, and you could be in your car after fireworks in 10 minutes, which is incredible. Like I said, especially if you have kids, that'll save you a lot of time and get them home a lot faster if you're staying off property. Cape May being at the Beach Club is also quite accessible to Hollywood Studios. You can either just walk to Hollywood Studios, it's about a 10-15 minute walk to Hollywood Studios. You could hop on the Skyliner if you wanted to, which would be walking a little bit towards Epcot to hop on the Skyliner, or you could just take boat, which will take you about 10-15 minutes. So you do have several options to even get to Hollywood Studios if you're eating a breakfast here, which also makes it very accessible to start out a good Hollywood Studios day if you care to do it that way. Okay, and here's number one on my list, and that's going to be Topolino's Terrace. Topolino's is going to be a terrace on the top of the Riviera Resort. The Riviera Resort is a Italian French Riviera themed resort there at Disney, and it's going to be along the Skyliner. So you are going to have access to Epcot and Hollywood Studios if you are doing a Topolino's breakfast. Topolino's, just like Ohana and Cape May, is only a character dining experience for breakfast. The characters you'll meet at Topolino's, I think, are the best if you're not excluding meeting princesses and stuff, because you're going to meet a lot of the more classic. You're going to meet Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy here. Something else that I want to talk about with Topolino's that we've experienced is that a lot of these other character meals, it does feel like your tables are on top of each other. At Topolino's, it feels like it's a little bit more spread out, where you have a little bit more room. Just feels a little bit brighter and open when you're inside Topolino's Terrace. And it feels like your character interactions are a little more intimate, because it's not like if Mickey's come walking by, it's not like three tables trying to fight for the attention, where they will give you one-on-one attention even at the more crowded places. But I feel like it's a little more whether you know that they're at your table at Topolino's. So a big reason why I have Topolino's at number one is the food there. I think the food is vastly better here than any of the other breakfast options at Disney World for a character dining experience. It is going to be $49 for adults and $30 for kids. But unlike all the other character dining experiences you're going to have on this list that I have, and pretty much throughout Disney, there's only one other place that's a little bit different, is that you do have a menu here. So you do get to pick your foods. You do so if you're paying $49 for adults, it's about like I think it's like 8 to 10 options that you have for different foods you can get. And a good hack here is there's better ways to use that $49. For example, I love avocado toast and I love steak. So I'm going to pay $49 regardless, but I can go get steak and eggs for the $49 and I can get avocado toast for $49. So it's a way better use to use that $49 that you're gonna have to spend regardless on the steak and eggs. Now I know some people maybe don't like steak or they have an allergy or they're vegan or whatever it might be, but this is a place where you can utilize your money if you getting the nicer things on the menu because you're going to be spending the $49 regardless. And for the kids, they have a lot of the basic things that you see a lot of kids like for buffets. They're going to have your eggs, your bacon, your potatoes, and all things like that. But the big hit there is that they have a thing called the Mickey Dippers, where they get you Mickey waffles and they put them on a stick, and the kids can dip them into different things, whether it be syrup or chocolate. And the kids really, really like this. So when you spend that $30, it isn't a buffet style where it's just all you can eat and stuff like that. They do have great bread here as well, with some muffins and stuff like that. That's just part of your service. But we do highly recommend. The food is the best I feel here than any of the Walt Disney World character dining reservations. Also, being that this is an Italian and French Riviera theme, you can imagine that for breakfast that their drinks are going to be really good. You know, you're going to have espresso and cappuccinos, and then even for drinks, you're going to have your mimosas and your bellinis and stuff like that. So it's going to have some great drink options for you for breakfast as well, for adult beverages or just even coffees. It's going to taste a little bit better than some of the other places that you're just going to get basic coffee or something like that. So overall, the drinks and the food here are top notch for all the character breakfasts or character meals in general at Walt Disney World. And lastly, we just love the views from here. They do have it's Topolino's Terrace. So they do have a terrace when you walk outside, and you can't sit at the terrace for your character meal, but you're more than welcome to walk out there if you want. So it is a great little thing if you're sitting there, maybe get to your reservation to go walk out there if they can't sit you quite yet, maybe get a drink or something and go out there, or even after your reservation, go out there, and it's one of the better views at Walt Disney World from this terrace. So don't skip out on going out there and checking out that view. And like I said to start out this, bringing up Topolino's, the accessibility from here, if you're eating this character breakfast to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, is great. Where you can go and park at the Riviera if you have a car, and then your accessibility just being a Skyliner away from Hollywood Studios and Epcot makes it really, really nice. So that's my top five. To break it down again, I have Akershus at 5, Crystal Palace at 4, Ohana at 3, Cape May at 2, and Topolino's Terrace at number 1. Some of my favorites that barely miss this list, I'm going to touch on. It's going to be about 4 or 5 of these places that just miss this list. I'm not going to be talking about all of the character meals because that's just going to make the video go too long. So I'm just going to do a breakdown about 4 or 5 that we really like that just miss this list. So first is going to be 1900 Park Fair. 1900 Park Fair is located at the Grand Floridian Resort. 1900 Park Fair was there for a long, long time, and then it closed during COVID and just reopened about 6 months ago. At 1900 Park Fair, you will get to dine with Cinderella, Tiana, Mirabelle, and Aladdin. So it's the only character dining outside of Cinderella's royal table that you will get to dine with Cinderella. But we just love the Grand Floridian Resort. It's a little bit special to us because that's where we got married. So it's always going to hold a special spot for us. And we just, since it's reopened, it is one of the better character meals that you can get at Disney World. Next, I'm going to have Cinderella's Royal Table. Obviously, this is a very, very hard reservation to get because it's what a lot of people want to do when they go there. So this is a reservation you do have to book very far in advance and be on your stuff when you're going to sit there and try to get it. It is a dining experience inside Cinderella Castle, so I get that it's a very, very popular dining experience. It is the most priciest of all the dining experiences because of that, and it is also a menued place, unlike a lot of these other ones that are buffet style. For me, the reason why I didn't put it on my top 5 list is because I don't feel like the food there matches up with the price. I feel like you're just paying to dine inside of Cinderella Castle, and that's why I had a place like Akershus on it instead, because it's cheaper and you get to, in essence, meet very similar princesses. But Cinderella's Royal Table is somewhere that I think everyone should take, especially little girls, once, because it feels like you are dining inside Cinderella's castle, and it's very, very special. Here you will obviously get to dine with Cinderella and Ariel, Aurora, Jasmine, and Snow White. Next is Tusker House. Tusker House will be at Animal Kingdom, located in the Africa area of Animal Kingdom. I have Tusker House on this list, and the main reason I have Tusker House is because an Animal Kingdom day is hard to do a whole entire day at the park right now. With all the future expansion and stuff going, maybe it will become a full day park, but it is hard to spend a whole day there, especially with kids, because there's just not a lot of rides. I could spend a whole day there, me and my wife could, but now that we have kids, there's just not a lot to entertain them for a whole entire day there. So if you could sit down and do a nice character meal, it does help fulfill spreading out that day a little bit. And Tusker House is a great option for that. Same like a lot of these places, the breakfast here is going to be quite a bit better than some of the other meals, and more safe for your kids to actually enjoy. But it is one of the only character meals over there in the Animal Kingdom area. The only one inside the park, and actually at Animal Kingdom Lodge, they don't have a character meal. So in that Animal Kingdom whole area, this is the only character dining experience they do have. And at Tusker House, you'll get to meet Mickey, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy. And last and certainly not least on this list is I'm going to talk about Artist Point. Artist Point is at Wilderness Lodge, and this is only a character meal for dinner, which is a little bit different. Most of these places are either open for all the meals or just for breakfast. Artist Point is only a character meal for dinner, and Artist Point is going to be a meal around the Snow White movie. So you're going to get to meet the evil queen, Snow White, Dopey, and Grumpy here. And why I say this is a unique dining experience is because it does obviously have a villain there. And it's a little bit of a unique menu, not in the food that you're going to get served. It's that it's not a buffet style, but it's not an exact menu either, 100%. That some of their like starters and stuff are going to be served more family style, and you do get menued items for like your main courses, and has a lot of show with a lot of their dishes they get, especially like desserts and some drinks that you can get. Is you get a lot of the Snow White type theme and stuff with that. So it's a very unique and very, very nice dining experience. And obviously, it is considered a character meal because you do get to meet those 4 Snow White characters. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye.